In the dystopian Punch Club future, I'll need to conquer every fighter in the city in a quest to find my long-lost father. If you haven't seen my 100% playthrough of the first Punch Club, I recommend you check that out first to set the scene. Who are the mysterious resistance? Is it wise to work for 3 criminal gangs and the police at the same time? And why does no one seem to know what happened to my dad? Welcome to 100 Days of Punch Club 2, Fast Forward.
Hell yeah. Oh, this one doesn't have hardcore difficulty. Good news, good news. It would stick with normal.
It began with a recap of the chaotic events of the first Punch Club, from the murder of a father to the fall of Fluffy. But maybe it wasn't just a recap.
That was all a dream?
I look a lot like the character in the first Punch Club, with a slightly different haircut.
Wait, what?
I emerged to greet my father and mother, and Mum asked for her favorite sweets. I of course grabbed them for her.
What the heck? You're a giant slime, Mum. You shouldn't talk to your mother like that.
But apparently, the most important thing is, none of this is real.
You and I never met in real life. Dad, I don't understand. Dad, do you think I'm your father? What have you done with my parents, lion punk?
I told the lion I'd punch his face, and suddenly it wasn't just the lion facing me.
Punch me in the head, that's an order. What's going on? Yeah, what is going on? But the fight ahead of you can't be won with punches and kicks. Not even with a huge crowbar, son. Father, I'm afraid I can't do it without you. But you have to. Please don't leave me. Find me in the upper city. Prologue. Leaving the shell. Okay, what a crazy dream, huh? Well, time for the daily routine. I think this is the same house from the first game, right?
I whipped out some push-ups on my trusty mat, but soon grew hungry. I wandered over to this strange contraption.
Hello, Mr. Spencer. Time for breakfast? We're in the future, bro.
Unfortunately, Mr. Spencer the dispenser had no food available.
This situation calls for someone more competent. Mom! That's me in every situation in life.
I headed through to the living room, and this is definitely the same house from the first game. I woke my mum and told her I was hungry. She was less helpful than I was hoping.
You mean all this time we've been stealing our food? Of course not, son. Phew. We just weren't paying for it. That's what stealing is.
My lovely mother then went off on a diatribe, cursing the man who got her pregnant before disappearing.
Not this again. I'll just go and ask Henry then. Jeez.
I slowly backed away as mother continued ranting at the injustice of it all, and then it was time to take a peek at the city map.
Oh yeah. It is the same city. There's the old warehouse.
This is the same city as Punch Club 1, but I believe I am detecting some sci-fi vibes.
I think I see why it's called Fast Forward. Fast forward like 300 years or something. Alright, let's go to Henry's house.
My neighbor Henry had most excellent pink slippers. I told him about the problem with the food dispenser.
Well, you try punching it? You know you could just buy something at the shop, right?
Apparently my mum had never let me go outside the neighborhood, but Henry gave me some money and it was time for me to grow up and venture forth to Apu's shop.
What the heck? Is something wrong? You're a head in a jar and you're talking. You see, I was going to buy myself the body of a young athlete. So I sold my old one, but before I could purchase the replacement, there was a crisis. Stupid slimes.
Apu Jarhead here had a few goodies for sale. I bought a burger for Henry and a cooking kit for myself.
Present your chip for payment verification, please. What chip? Your GPP chip, of course.
Just then, this distinguished individual entered the shop.
Mr. Bobo Jr. It's Bobo Jr. Have you come to rob me again? Yep. Open the register, please.
I told the pickle jar I would not stand for a robbery, but when Bobo Jr. offered me a Slickers bar, I got distracted for a bit.
Sorry to interrupt you, but can we get back to the robbery?
And so began my first fight of Punch Club 2. I had skill slots for attack, defense, and modifier skills. I chose to use kick, and the more basic skills chosen, the more perks from the basic fighting school would become active.
Had punch as well, so now we get Tumbler, reduces knockdown damage. Energizer, standing up after knockdown restores more energy.
And I added kick again as my third active skill, which activated a third perk.
A little energy is restored between rounds.
I had no defensive or modifier skills yet, and my opponent had way better stats than me, so I suspected I was in for a rough time.
Good person points. How come he's got lots of good person points? He's literally he's robbing a store. This is outrageous.
By the way, your strength increases your health, attack, and energy consumption. Agility increases your initiative, and stamina improves your energy regeneration during the fight and in between rounds.
Well, I'm gonna lose. My first fight. Oh, the animations are a bit more spicy. I'm getting smoked. Oh, I landed some hits. Huge.
I received an effect increasing happiness for the next couple of days just because I like fights, and apparently I'd earned some mastery of the skills I'd been using.
Stop right there, you delinquent skunks. But
this suspicious looking officer didn't want to hear it. We were headed for the police station. But before we head to jail, I'm just gonna whack this big tree boy for a bit. Yes indeed, big thanks to Terraceland for sponsoring this video. Terraceland is a fresh cross-platform MMORPG releasing on the 21st of June, and you can pre-register now using the link below. Terraceland has classic MMORPG vibes with a fantasy art style that invites you to explore a vast world in which you can quest, gather, craft, and trade. And of course, take on all sorts of raids and dungeons with your mates. There are 9 different classes, including the Bard, the Warrior, and the Phantom Necro, and each class features 2 specializations to choose from, with a flexible talent tree system allowing you to find your unique way to play. With cross-platform data sharing between PC and mobile, you can play Terraceland anywhere, anytime, so you can scratch that MMO itch on the go. And look at this big fella. I hear he's called the Blight Dragon, and I can only assume he'll do his best to cook you with his toasty breath before biting your head off. He'll be the final boss, one of the strongest raid bosses to conquer. Click the link below to pre-register, which will secure you some juicy rewards once the game launches in a few weeks on June 21st. Okay, now let's go to jail.
the future seems a little bit dystopian. What is that? Did you see that blue thing? Thanks for not ratting me out, man. That would be hella bad for my GPP. Oh, good person points. Come by the slime farm if you need a job.
As Bobo Jr. headed out, this holo cop headed in.
Dude, what is going on in this game? Now tell me, son, what have you done to your GPP chip? I never had one, sir. No idea what this GPP thing even stands for. How on earth is that possible? Well, mum hasn't ever let me leave the house, so... Now that's a shame. Your father wouldn't approve of that. Did you know my father? Mum never told me anything about him. He was a fighter, one of the greats. The rest of the info is classified though. Is my father me in the first game? I need to know, sir. It's very important. To access that information, son, you'd have to be a police officer. Okay, if you say so, I'm ready. Not so fast, you eager little beaver.
I needed 2,000 GPP to become a cop, so I had a bit of work to do. The holo cop let me off the hook for the brawl at Arpoo's, but he wouldn't let me leave without putting a chip in my head.
How do I know it's not going to control me? I love this guy. That's exactly what it's for. But it's for your own good. It sounds about right. Listen, GPP means good person points. The more you have, the better you are. Getting over 9,000 officially makes you a good person. It's over 9,000. That's when you get to the upper city.
Apparently, people get good person points for contributions to science, charity, and arts. And apparently, martial arts counts. So the way for me to climb my way into the good books was to bash some people's faces and win some fights. And so a chip was slotted into my noggin. I discovered I had the Slickers bar in my backpack, and I was able to eat it on the go. So I did, which filled me up a little. And then I was pointed in the direction of a place I knew well from the first game.
Visit Silver's gym. Best place for training.
I had a more thorough look at my multi-passport.
I have high rage. Why do I have high rage?
I then headed home to confront my mother.
Why have you been lying about my father? Don't talk to me like that, young man. Just tell me, please, did he go missing? Well, your father was a fighter, the greatest fighter there ever was. Maybe a little too great for his own good. Right after I found out I was pregnant, he entered the biggest tournament on the planet. I tried to tell him, but he wouldn't listen. Later, Adrian, I need to focus. This is Adrian! It is! It's Adrian from the first game. Naturally, he won, and after that, poof, gone. Did he leave? Was he murdered? No idea. All the same to me, frankly. He never cared about me, about us. So why should we care about him?
I told Mum the police know something about my dad, and she warned me I was asking for trouble trying to become a cop.
If this city lives by the fist, I shall be the greatest, fister? Fist man? Anyway, I'm gonna be just like my father, and that's final. What? But? No buts. You've been holding me back for way too long. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have a job interview to attend. Alright, I'm popping off, man. Chapter 1. The big city life. Ooh, it's a very delicious sci-fi intro. Alright, so this is Adrian, the girlfriend from the first game. The player from the first game is my dad. Obviously, we're like 20, 30 years in the future.
I hit up the fridge and ate the cooking kit I'd bought, which used up 1.5 hours of time to prepare the meal, but it filled me up about halfway. I was also introduced to the story tree, and I had a few quests to see about already.
Let's go give old mate the burger first. Here's your burger, mate. Thanks, mate. What happened? I kind of got arrested.
Henry asked if I wanted to watch an old movie with him, an old action movie from the 80s. I, of course, agreed.
After 90 exciting minutes, you just stepped over the barbell and that step was your last. I don't even know what this is referencing.
For watching that ancient film, I earned some old school respect, and I gained access to a skill tree where I could unlock skills related to films watched with Henry. We just watched Revenge, and I had 4 skills to choose from. I unlocked Slogger, which increased my efficiency working jobs, and...
I'll get barbell sprint as well so I can move around the city faster. after?
Henry told me Apu had some old film tapes and asked me if I could go get them so we could watch more movies together. I had a look at the basic skill tree before heading to Apu's.
Hello, Mr. Fishbowl.
I asked Apu if perhaps since I'd bravely defended his store, he'd give me a discount. He rejected that idea, but he did give me a tip for a job.
Is it a pizza place? I've always wanted to try one of those. Casey's Pizza Place from the first game? No, man, the pizzas are all gone. No, not the cheesy frisbees. Stupid slimes. It's noodle making. Okay, I can get on board with some noodle making. Go to Club Street and tell them Apu sent you.
I asked him about the movie tapes too.
I remember something like that. They're piled up with the rest of the useless junk. So if you don't need them, what? Can you give them to me? Certainly, that'll be $100, please. What? You just said they're useless junk. Yeah, it was before you wanted them. Now it's a product. That's how it works.
And so I'd have to earn some money if I wanted to purchase any tapes for Henry.
Okay, so some food goes to your fridge and you have to cook it. It uses a bit of time to cook it. Some food, like the snacks, can go in your bag and you can have them on the go without using any time. Interesting.
Also, slime lunch? What? I bought a cooking kit and headed to Bobo's farm.
Oh, is that Bobo? Bro, Bobo's nipples, bro. Why? Well, the job is yours as long as you can punch slimes nice and hard. And let's face it, any idiot can manage that. Bro, why? What is that? What is going on with Bobo's nipples? He's like the Harkonnen dude from Dune. What do we do with these slimes anyway? Oh, we use them for food dispensers. I've been eating slimes all my life.
So apparently the future is bright with delicious slimes. Good stuff. I attempted to get to work.
Are you out of your mind? I just tried to put the apron on, dude.
It was 10:40 p.m. and they tried night shifts before, but the sound of slime pounding had kept everyone awake in a 5-kilometer radius. So Bobo told me to come back at 0800. I tried to head to Silver's gym, but it was also closed until morning. So I headed to Club Street. And while I was walking there, day 2 finally arrived.
Club Street is popping off, bro. Apu hooked my dad up with a job at the pizza place. Now he's hooked me up. Look at this thing.
I checked out his noodly menu, and I was confused by this wire here. But I later worked out this represents my reputation with the Yakuza. So not only did I have a slime job with Bobo's gang, I worked for a gang-affiliated ramen place too. Wholesome stuff. I worked the night away, earning $28 when I completed 1 bar, training up a little bit of agility, and working towards a promotion too. At 7 a.m, the boss sent me home, so obviously this was my nighttime job.
Look at all these robots. Look at this hovering scooter.
I headed straight back to Bobo's farm to get in a day shift.
Let's punch some slime, man. Punch it. Who comes up with this crap, bro? I'm like punching the slime out of it so people can eat it.
This wonderful job earned me some stamina. By evening, I was hungry, so I headed home and ate a healthy meal, had a snooze to top up my energy, and whipped out some push-ups until I was once again hungry. So I hit up Apu's for a 4 a.m. food run.
Who's this shady dealer? Come back. Who is this guy? This guy's important, surely.
I'd saved up $96 working my various jobs, so I bought 3 cooking kits, as this was clearly the most efficient food option money-wise. I ate 2 of them, which used up 3 hours of cooking time, and I headed to Silver's gym with a full belly. And this place had changed a bit in the past 20 years.
That's me from the first game.
Silver randomly insulted the Russian mafia and their junkyard ways, so I decided I should probably go find the Russian junkyard. But first I wanted to sign up to Silver's fight league. As I went to do so, this weirdo taunted me.
Let's hope you die a horrible death. Excuse me?
Turns out this was Huey, a dingus that tried to rob my dad in the first game.
Nowadays, he's got enough GPP to call himself a lord. Maybe the lord of bad manners and weird words. Got him. Anyway, I'll put some hurt on his lordship.
I'd have to make my way through the league first, though.
Song Mo. Mad Mike, all these nerds from the first game. Okay, let's go.
And so I entered my first fight of Silver's League against JD.
Let's just use both moves like last time. That's fine.
And so JD and I got busy slapping each other, and though I seemed to be using energy faster, I was also dealing a fair bit more damage.
Yes. Big slap onto the canvas. Even my grandmother fights better than that. Shut up, Huey. But like her, you'll suffer a tragic end and gout.
And so I won my first fight and earned my first 188 good person points. I picked up a defensive move, dodge.
I can register for another fight in 14 hours.
I headed into the gym where I was greeted by a muscly robot.
What's going on over here? What is this guy doing? Whoa, there's a big boy in the water. I didn't even notice him. This is so outrageous.
The robot had protein bars and energy drinks for sale. And unlike the first game, you don't pay for entry into the gym. You pay to do a specific exercise in the Neuro Trainer, the modern way to become stronger.
Let's do some breakdancing for $9.
I went in for another round of breakdancing and raised my agility to 2.
Can I go on the butt jiggling machine? I feel like that'll be very helpful.
With 2 agility, I was able to unlock middle kick, which consumes less energy than the basic kick. As you can tell, my plan early on was to honor my hardcore playthrough of the first Punch Club by choosing an agility build again. I enjoyed a massage from Dr. Feelgood, which restored my health for no cost, and the Robo Factory junkyard had appeared on my map, but it wasn't open during the daytime, so I headed home to snooze and eat until the sun set, at which point I went to the junkyard.
Look at this robot. What is this robot doing? Don't touch my beautiful garden.
Dynamo here was a bit spicy. I don't think she liked me, and the junkyard's foreman Grisha was able to repair the broken gym equipment in my garage for $150 a pop. And suddenly I had another job, this time ingratiating myself with the Russian mafia, which made it official. I definitely have a knack for working for criminals. I bent them bars all night long with the assistance of some fancy metal arms. This trained up a little strength, and just past midnight a notification popped up reminding me to sign up for another fight at Silver's, so I did. I bought a couple more cooking kits with my earnings, but when I returned home to cook, my mum wasn't having it. She claimed I was too noisy. For my part, I wondered if she was ever going to take that crap out of her hair. Surely the curls had set by now.
She's not going to let me eat my food. Talk to Apu about sleeping pills for my mum.
Apu's robot arm dropped fish food into his head bowl while he aggressively denied selling any illegal drugs.
Read my lips, you little brat. Apu doesn't sell illegal stuff. Apu wasn't this rude in the first game, man.
Except he immediately pointed me in the direction of a vending machine with a suspicious leaf on it that sells quote-unquote sweet candy.
In case you need to put a violent elephant to sleep for a few months.
I bought 5 since that's all I could afford, and I gave one to Mum immediately, which conked her out. And so I dealt with Mum the old-fashioned way, by drugging her so she wouldn't be so annoying. Perfect. I ate, slept, and worked the afternoon hours away at Bobo's. But of course, Bobo kicked me out once evening arrived. Opening hours weren't a thing in the first game, so this was going to take some getting used to. I spent the night working at the junkyard, and I used the $98 I'd saved up on, you guessed it, cooking kits. I ate the Slickers bar Bobo Jr. had given me on day 1, and though I was still pretty hungry, I wanted to get a gym session at Silver's while it was still open. So I headed there and did $18 worth of breakdancing.
3 agility? Huge.
I snuck in a $3 warm-up, too. I ate, slept, and headed to the noodle house. Ah, the good old Punch Club real-life simulator grind.
That's a long cold noodle. Just like every night in this dark, hopeless... What the heck?
This cheery fella was an ex-cop.
Ex-cop, ex-detective, ex-killer. Sounds awesome. What happened?
His ex-partner had died and was now a holocop, and he wasn't a big fan of replicants. I mean, holocops. He'd say no more, so I concluded I better go talk to the holo sergeant I'd met at the police station.
Cooking some noodles, man. Noodling it up.
I forged ahead towards a noodly promotion until daylight, when I headed to the police station to chat to the holo cop. I asked him about being a holo.
After you gain a certain amount of GPP, your consciousness gets duplicated onto your chip, so after you die, you can get uploaded into a holo drive.
I also asked him about the rule of the fist.
Whoever is stronger is right, is the rule of the fist. That makes sense to me.
And I talked to him about the sad noodle man.
Oh, it sounds just like Kay. Haven't seen him for so long. How is he?
He mentioned an accident, during which both he and Kay did some things they regret, and how Kay believes holocops are just controlled memories. He then wandered into a back room and re-emerged with Kay's police badge, and he asked me to give it to Kay as a peace offering.
Alright, big city life is popping off, man.
It was then time for my next fight against JD again. I swapped my offensive skills out for middle kick. The flow of these fights seemed to be taking turns using up our initiative, indicated by the blue arrows. In this case, I had 3 initiative and JD had 2. Between rounds, I remembered I'd also unlocked dodge, so I added that to my defensive skills.
Hey, we got some dodges.
Since I was getting off more attacks than him, I was also using more energy, but I knocked him out before that became an issue.
In the first game, the fights were just chaos, it felt like, so these seem a bit more, like, sensible. I don't know.
After that fight, Silver realized I reminded him of someone.
That isn't his picture hanging on the wall by any chance. Silver's just clocking what's going on. Holy smokes, how didn't I notice right away? The resemblance is uncanny. Are you a clone of my... No, he's just my father, you big dingus.
Silver then lied that he was best friends with my dad, classic Silver, and I of course asked where I could find him. Silver didn't know, but he claimed the best source of information would be the digital archives in the upper city. But I needed over 9,000 GPP to get there, so I had a long way to go. There was nothing to do except get into the swing of maintaining my beautiful body with food, sleep, and training. And working, of course. So I got busy. That night I returned to chat to Kay.
As a wise man once said, life sucks and then you die.
I told Kay Kay's ex-partner really missed him, but he wasn't having it. After listening to him whinge about how terrible this city is, I gave him his old badge, which weirdly was beeping like a spy bug. Turns out the reason the badge was beeping like a spy bug is because it was indeed bugged. And now the police knew where Kay was, so he had to disappear.
What is going on with Kay, man?
I noodled the night away. I ate while my mum lay in a drug-induced coma on the couch, and I punched slimes all day. With that, I'd saved $154, so I bought my first movie from Apu for $100. He said he had more, but the next one would cost me $200. I spent the rest of my money on more cooking kits, and headed to Henry's to watch the classic boxing film, Stoney.
Your nose is broken. How does it look? It's an improvement. Nice.
The skill options from the Stoney movie improved my training efficiency on the various workout equipment in my garage. But since all of those were still broken, I saved my old school respect for now.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 more movies? Holy crap, dude.
I then encountered this awkward situation where it was the middle of the night, so I couldn't train at the gym, and it didn't seem worth it to walk all the way to work just to finish up in a few hours once daylight arrived. So I just went home and ate, slept, and did a bunch of push-ups. I worked the day away slapping silly slime worms, I dropped in at home to eat, and then I accidentally watched TV for like 5 hours.
Dude, what the?
I'd sat down to watch TV because my happiness was looking a little grim due to my constant work grind making me miserable. But the TV didn't even restore any happiness, it just wasted 5 hours. So that was accurately indicative of exactly how entertainment media promises a world of joy but provides only waste in both our souls and our physical bodies. Anyway, I then whipped out an ungodly amount of push-ups. By the way, this game appeared to have no stat decay between days, unlike the first game, and for that, I was grateful. Once I got my agility up to 4, I headed into the ring to fight Song Mo. And you may notice I'd made a mistake. I'd entered the fight not fully rested, and therefore I had only 73 energy available to start. Whoops. I continued using middle kick, which dealt 5 damage and cost 4 energy a pop, but after one round, things were looking grim already.
Oh, so I can skip attack. I don't have to unlock skip attacks. I can just skip. All right, let's just do some skipping. Try to get energy back. I don't want to get knocked down.
When you run out of energy, you suffer a knockdown and take big damage. So skipping a bunch of attacks to conserve energy was definitely the play. But it also meant I was dealing way less damage, and over the next few rounds, I fell behind in the health department. And in the final round,
I think I just go for broke. Because I have a slight energy advantage. No, don't get dodged. I'm going to fall over though. His punches are just... Oh, dude, it's rough. It's rough. Defeat.
I lost 25 good person points. I then realized I could train with Silver for free.
What the heck? Silver, this is not a fair fight, bro. Why do you get a big robot?
In the second round, I suffered a couple of those knockdowns I was telling you about, and the spar was lost. After those 2 fights, I was completely tapped for energy, so I had a large snooze. I bought more candies for Mum to ensure she remained suitably sedated, and a cooking kit too, which I ate.
At least I'm more happy because I had those fights, even though I lost.
And I noodled up a storm, reaching just 3 steps away from a promotion. It was early days, but I was somehow already unimpressed by agility, so after buying and eating a protein bar,
let's go on a marathon. Boom.
This shot my stamina past 3, which I hoped would help with my energy concerns. I emptied my fridge into my belly before heading to Club Street for the night.
Hey, what's this? What the heck? I didn't know I could go in the what is this, a club? 17-year-old high school killer. Is that from Kill Bill? I hate sticks with nails.
Yeah!
Okay, who's this? Yakuza boss deputy, nightclub manager. Have fun and get out. Alright.
I managed to work my way to a
promotion. I told you I ain't leaving until I get my money back.
This fella was causing a ruckus, so my boss offered me that promotion if I whacked the guy.
He's in the Taekwondo school. Frequent kicks and dodges. More energy restored between rounds. Increased chances of dodge. We have a chance here. My health is kind of low to start though. That is not ideal. Oh gosh. I have no chance.
There wasn't much I could do except hope for dodges, since I was losing in both health and energy. But it ended up being closer than expected, because in round 3, he chose to skip some of his attacks, which allowed me to catch up on damage.
No, dodge. Is this a clutch? Oh, I was so close. Oh. Your fighting skills are just as abominable as your cooking. Come on, man, train harder. I need this guy punched.
So I guess I'll have to see about that promotion later. After filling my fridge, I continued training stamina with a skipping rope session, and
I need to do this thing to get my health back. Come on, Dr. Feelgood. Give me some rub-a-dub-dub. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the good stuff.
It was indeed going to be essential to get some love from Dr. Feelgood, along with plenty of sleep so that my health and energy were maxed, as I'd now had 2 dodgy fights due to not maintaining these stats in the overworld.
I don't think I want to raise my strength, but I guess I'm going to.
In the first Punch Club, you tend to avoid training strength if you're using an agility build, but I was beginning to realize the sequel worked differently. I squeezed the slime toothpaste tube all day before entering my next fight at Silver's gym, against the infamous JD, as I was still slumming low down in the league thanks to my loss against Song Mo. Because I am a goose, I started the fight without full energy again, but I simply skipped an attack going into round 2 and this was a straightforward win. I had heaps of GPP to spend, and I figured it would be wise to try out the other options, so I unlocked block, low kick, and side punch. I sparred Silver and tried block plus the stamina move low kick, which dealt 7 damage but cost a hefty 6 energy. That's 2 more energy than the agility move middle kick. In round 2, I skipped 2 attacks, hoping to avoid gassing out.
I might do alright here if I can just not get knocked over. Because I'm not taking much damage. I won! What the heck? Yes! I got 5 GPPs.
I unlocked the basics with some old school respect, as this makes push-ups at home more effective, and after eating and sleeping to recover from fight day, I found my fridge was empty again, and I had only $31 to my name.
I mean, it was the same in the first game early on. You're just constantly scrambling to keep money and food and energy and sleep and all this business balanced. It's tricky.
With pretty much full health and energy plus some new skills unlocked, I figured I'd now be up to the task of bashing up this disgruntled customer. I subbed in the strength skill side punch for this fight, and it seemed like the best option so far. Also, the fact that I could skip attacks in the later rounds to slow down energy issues was rather handy.
This one's much more strategic between rounds. I'm a big fan. Yes, give me that promotion, baby.
Yes, indeed, a noodly promotion.
You really could be more agile. I suggest a special fighting school.
And so I was introduced to the Taekwondo fighting school, with a bunch of new perks attached to it. I wasn't expecting to unlock it through my noodle job, but why not?
Well, I feel like when I was using middle kick, I was struggling. When I switched, I did much better, so maybe I shouldn't do agility.
So I was determined to give all 3 stats a proper try, and the next promotion I worked towards was at Bobo's slime farm. By evening, I'd reached my goal.
This guy, he doesn't like your work. Why? He says he punches slimes better than you. I doubt it, man.
And so, to earn my promotion, I had to bash this goose up. I chose the Taekwondo fighting school, and to activate the perks within that school, I had to choose agility moves. The only agility move I had was middle kick, so I whacked 3 of those in there, activating meditation for more energy restored between rounds, and nimble for an increased dodge chance. Also, this school apparently has more defensive skill slots, so I shoved as much dodge in there as possible.
Alright, come on. Show me what you got, Taekwondo. I'm gonna need that energy between rounds. Good dodging, not great. Pretty good dodging. Energy's still a massive problem though.
I could switch schools between rounds, so I reverted to the basic school and used side punch and block instead, with 1 attack skipped for energy regen. This seemed objectively better, and I had a pretty solid round 2 and 3, but it was looking to be a close one.
I gotta go all in. Go all in. Come on. He's got a... Yes! Let's go.
Along with the promotion, I was granted access to the Aikido stamina-based fighting school, with perks focused on outlasting the opponent with superior energy and big blocks. By the way, these promotions had also gotten me pay rises and 25 reputation in the respective gangs. I restocked the fridge and slept the night away. I enjoyed a robot massage, and I skip roped my way to 5 stamina, because more stamina just felt like the best option. And oh look, my fridge is nearly empty again. Good thing I just got a pay rise. Even still, it was hard to avoid going broke over and over, because I had to buy coma candy for my silly mum too. I got myself fully rested, and then I was into the ring for another fight in Silver's league.
Let's try the stamina build. More energy restored between rounds. He's going to take more damage when he gets knocked down.
Low kick was doing a solid 8 damage, but I used more energy, though I did restore 19 between rounds, while he only restored 13.
I blocked all of that. Very nice.
My extra energy regen kept the energy battle pretty even, and my superior damage helped me take the win early in round 3.
Yes!
With the GPP earned from that fight, and with my agility and stamina both higher than 4, I had some new skill options.
I don't know. Do I invest yet?
I did not invest yet, because I wanted to wait and see what the strength tree had to offer.
Sunny. Yes, Mum? Yes, Mum.
Mum wanted me to find her something to help with her headache. I headed straight to Apu's, and not only did Apu give me some medicine for her, he also gave me a present to give her, the sly devil.
Apu's giving my mum chocolate. It's outrageous.
Mum told me to thank Apu, before wondering if she should maybe thank him herself.
Oh, there's gonna be a romance between my mum and Apu's head. This conversation is officially too awkward to continue.
I hit up the Robo Factory to work my way towards a promotion.
Sign up for the next fight. Oh, Silver's calling. What's up, Silver? This next fight, Silver, you always ask people to throw fights for you. No, I don't care if it's a big deal. I don't like losing. It's best for everybody if I lose. I'm not forfeiting a fight.
I finished off my bendy shift, I slapped out a slappy shift, and I was back again on day 17 for more bending, but I didn't quite make it to a promotion. Because my happiness was suffering after all that work, I decided to kick Silver for a bit, which made me feel a lot better. And after a snooze and spending $175 on cooking kits, I was back at it to earn my promotion.
A true bender doesn't just bend pipes. He can also bend his enemies in half. Well said. Oh dear. Come on then.
I stuck with the Arkido low kick build.
Look at this fight arena. The fight arenas are so sick in this game, bro. I'm absolutely smoking him, by the way.
Once again, my superior energy regen between rounds kept me in a decent place energy-wise.
Stamina build feels kind of good.
And so I earned my promotion and the somber fighting style, which had perks with health regen and defense penetration.
Do you just train all three stats in this and switch fighting styles depending on who you're versing? You could.
I spent ages deliberating and all the moves seemed pretty similar, but...
Let's go strength. I'm going strength. I'm getting uppercut. I don't care.
I headed home to regather my strength before entering the ring against Mad Mike.
I mean, I think you just go for lots of uppercuts, right? Punch the guy in the head and then we block. Oh, come on. You gotta land those, bro. There's one. Oh dear, this is not looking good. He's dodging like a beast. There we go. That's what we need. This is looking rough energy-wise, though.
Silver had asked me to throw this fight, but I was determined to not let that happen. I switched to the stamina fighting school with the aim to shore up my energy, but I almost ran completely dry in round 2 regardless. Fortunately, he had lower health than me, so I didn't feel too vulnerable skipping 2 attacks for round 3. And for round 4, I went all in with 3 attacks, hoping to finish him off.
You need to land 2 out of 3. One more. There it is. Let's go.
I did another marathon, pushing my stamina up to 6, and I enjoyed some rubber-dub-dub from old mate before getting back into the grind.
What's up, little Bobo? He's going to tell me his secrets. Come to the abandoned house at night. I've got something interesting to show you.
It was still nighttime, so I figured I might as well head straight there.
In his spare time, he works as a hacker. I can hack the GPP system for you for a modest fee. Can't go to jail for that.
So Lil Bobo was able to hack away and make it so I'd earn extra GPP for my next fight, for the small fee of $20.
Am I backing myself against this next guy? Yeah, I'm gonna hack my next fight.
He then told me about installing software on the chip in my head. Apparently that's standard practice in the future. He installed a handy software that reminds me to hack my next fight. Except the user agreement had some dodgy elements.
Okay, we'll uncheck those. Your GPP is not at Little Bobo's disposal.
I knuckled some slugs, causing them to poop goop, and then discovered my software menu. Very techie.
Do you have any software for your workers? To work better, of course, comrade. Vostok 69. Okay, a special program for working at Soviet quality. $20 and you'll earn it all back with better bending and more efficient work. Deal.
And so I installed this revolutionary software to improve my working efficiency at the Robo Factory, with some eternal glory to the heroes of socialist labor thrown in. I worked into the morning of day 20, and clearly I decided I was just gonna level every stat willy-nilly, because I whipped out some imaginary deadlifts to push my strength up to 5. And after a double cooking kit feed, I did push-ups until I could push up no more. I slept, and I did yet more push-ups, but I sadly wasn't able to get my strength up to 6, so I headed back to Silver's to do another deadlift. And then it was time to take on loudmouth Lord Huey.
Dear minor character, welcome to your demise. Sincerely, Lord Huey. Your cap buckled too tight, my lord, sir?
I stuck with the stamina school again, and as you can see, my health had climbed to 145 thanks to my stat gain, and I was dealing superior damage. But again, my energy was looking dicey, so I skipped an attack in the second round. He did too, so the damage certainly slowed down. In round 3, I skipped 2 attacks, so things slowed down even more, but I hung in there for a couple more rounds.
Get gone, Huey. You donut? I taught some manners to that guy. Boom. Wait, I know that punch. I've faced it before. When some guy beat the crap out of me at Apu's shop 20 years ago. That was me, as my dad. I'm the Dark Fist! Heck yeah. But how's it even possible?
I wanted to hear more of what Huey knew about the mysterious superhero known as the Dark Fist, but he wandered off. I then stared at the skill tree for a bit.
Everything just looks the same. Like, this is the same damage and same energy, even though it's like...
So I was clearly confused about what skills to get. I asked Bobo about installing a wormy slimy software, but it turned out you can only have one job software installed at a time. I decided to wipe the Soviet software and install Worm Wither.
I'd prefer the stamina one because I'm going to need stamina no matter what. and this is my only daytime job, so it makes more sense for this to be more efficient. I can buy a double Bobo that's extra thick. That's actually not bad value for money.
I worked the day away, and I hadn't been to Noodleland for a while, so I put in a shift over there too. I had a look at my upcoming opponent, Skinny Jenkins.
He's a VR fighter? Cheat meals. Wait, that's not fair. Restore some health. He's got leftovers like Snorlax in Pokemon. KO, what's your energy? The big guy knocks people out with one blow. Oh, so I can't run out of energy against this guy. Okay, this fight's gonna be flaming weird, dude.
After a feed and a sleep, I pushed my stamina up to 7, and since I'd saved up $164, I decided to repair the barbell in my garage. I turned lowercase L's into uppercase all night long, before heading to Silver's to ask him about gym-related software for my brain. He had a software he'd made himself that improves the effectiveness of neuro training, while also decreasing the effectiveness of a real workout. It was free to install, but since he'd made it himself, it was prone to minor glitches.
There's no license, but who cares? I have no one to blame whatever happens. I feel like this is not the greatest idea I've ever had in my life.
He also had a gym membership software that made neuro training cheaper and more efficient, but it cost $8 a day, so I ended up saying no to both of those and instead bashed Silver's robot up. And now that I had 6 agility, I was rocking 4 initiative, so I was kicking him willy-nilly. And then
I think I gotta get the neuro training program just to see what the weird side effects are. We gotta find out, and it's gonna make my training here more effective.
10% more effective, to be precise. I made use of the increase immediately, training strength a couple of times until it reached 7, allowing me to unlock feint.
Attack modifier reduces enemy dodge chances. Boom.
So after all my indecision, I was tentatively investing into a strength build. After some food and rest, I made right angles all night. I topped up my energy with a quick nap, and then it was time for another fight in Silver's League. I made my dodge reduction modifier active.
This guy doesn't dodge at all. Damn it.
Yeah, I can't imagine that big boy being great at dodging, so that's fair. It at least counted as a somber school skill, so it activated another perk.
Any damage you do nothing to avoid is reduced by 1. Okay. Come on, Skinny. Dude, he takes no damage. And he does so much damage. Oh, my energy's actually holding up pretty nice. Yeah, we got this. My energy. Oh, he's using so much energy. Okay, there's a knockdown.
For round 2, he whipped out this sleepy boy attack that regenerated his energy while he absorbed my punches. And though I was rather low on energy, I boldly only skipped 1 out of 4 attacks for the next round.
Oh, hang on. If I get knocked down, I think it's over. I forgot. Oh no, I'm silly. No, I forgot that he has a perk. If you get knocked out, it's over.
So that was a bit silly. I tenderized the slime until evening, and in the PM, I did 180 minus 90s until dawn. With that, I was able to fill up my fridge, which is always a good feeling, and I bought 10 more candies for Mum too.
How much candy has she got? She's got 19. She got heaps of candy.
I caught some Zeds and then mourned my failures in Silver's League.
Oh, bro, I've lost 2 fights in this league. It's so bad.
Considering I was facing up against Mad Mike again next, I decided to hack to fight for extra GPP, which used half the night because it's such a long walk to this random abandoned house. The rest of the night was spent at the Robo Factory, and then I performed a glorious experiment.
If I buy an extra thick double Bobo, how did I get 50 rep with Bobo's gang? Wait, what? Alright, whatever. The double Bobo only costs $28, and it saves me an hour and a half of cooking. Yeah, I don't think I earned $28 in an hour and a half though.
So that wasn't as efficient as I was hoping. I slept, worked out on the barbell pushing my strength to 8, fed myself, slept some more, and enjoyed a cheeky massage, and with that I was fight ready.
I just realized I don't think accuracy is the thing. In the first game, agility affected your accuracy. Instead we've just got initiative affected by agility. I'm gonna chew through my energy, but I've also got way more energy than him.
I did indeed chew through my energy, but I also did way more damage than him. Considering he had about 1/3 of my stats, it's just as well this was a pretty comfortable win.
Alright, I won 10 times. Huzzah!
I was still close to yellow on happiness, so I sparred silver. In the first game, sparring silver earned you skill points, but in this game, the main purpose seems to be pure joy at bashing up the old robot. I'm pretty sure low happiness reduces training efficiency, so it was good to stay on top of it. I ran an imaginary marathon, pushing my stamina to 8, and I whipped out a deadlift too before sleeping until I was fully rested. I did push-ups until my agility hit 7, and considering I was working constantly, which also slowly improves my stats, it definitely felt like my stats were improving rather fast. After this particular working spree, I managed to save up a good chunk of change.
We're at $200, let's get the tape.
Apu said he had one more tape that would set me back a whopping $400, but for now, it was time to indulge in the wonder of the movies.
Starship Slimers. Entertainment restores more happiness. Tonus fills up faster during training. What's tonus? I actually don't know what tonus is, but I'm going to get it because it sounds good. Losing less hearts after a fight means I don't need to get massaged by Dr. Feelgood as much, which saves time, so I might as well get that too.
And so my buffs continued piling up. Enjoying that movie had buoyed up my happiness, so I was good to crack on and slap on more slime. And just as well, because I needed to shore up my finances after that $200 expense. That night, I pushed my strength up to 9.
Increases the chance of penetrating blocks. Alright, let's get that. Now I can switch between anti-dodge and anti-block. Attack modifier reduces enemy energy. See, that seems really good. If I get hard block, I think I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm going all in. I've got hard block. Now I've got break rhythm as well. The beauty of it is, depending on whether they dodge or block, I can use one of these to reduce their dodge or block chance. And I can also use this as my second modifier to reduce their energy. It seems like a respectable strategy.
I was a little worried I'd spent too many GPP without specializing down one part of the tree, but I guess we'll see. I turned on the anti-block and anti-energy modifiers against Skinny Jenkins, and I went to town with the Somber School active, punching him with many an uppercut. My max health was now 171 and my max energy was 172, so those numbers had certainly gone up quickly. I dished out solid damage in the first round. For round 2, I switched to the Stamina School and subbed in hard block.
Because we get these perks as well. Increased block effectiveness, increased chances of a successful block.
Snorlax used rest during round 2, topping out his energy. And in round 3, I stuck to the same moves, but despite getting him down to 10 health, I got worryingly close to running out of energy. Of course, I'd learned the hard way that a knockdown against Skinny Jenkins meant an instant loss, so I decided to skip all of my attacks in round 4.
Okay, we're having a standstill, like absolute dinguses round. That's my favorite kind of round.
I subbed in 2 attacks for round 5, hoping to finish him off, but he'd restored 10 health per round, so he was back up to 30, and I didn't quite knock him out. But it was only a 5-round fight, so I took the win on points.
I feel like the break rhythm did a lot. It made him run out of energy faster. I had my doubts, but it really is you. Is this Casey? Huh? My name is Casey, kid, and I knew your father. It is. It's the pizza guy.
Casey said there was someone that knew my dad really well, and he told me to meet him at Mick's old house to discuss.
Oh, we gotta go to Mick's house, man.
Just then, I received a call from the Hollow Sergeant, who was confident I'd soon have the 2,000 GPP needed to become a cop.
But being a policeman is more about that. How good are you with the laws? Well, you know what they say, mum's word is the law. Who says that? My mum, of course.
He then decided to test me on the law.
First question is easy. How many GPP do you need to get into the upper city? 9,000. What's the penalty for GPP hacking? Dyeing your hair red. It's the death penalty for that, kid. Don't even think about it.
Despite my perfect score in his test, he told me to swing by the police station to learn more about the law. After restocking my fridge, I headed to Mick's old house.
Mick's old house is in shambles. My father's coach, Mick. If anyone ever really knew your father, it was him. Great, where can I find him? He's dead, kid. Oh, Mick? No!
Fortunately, Casey had illegally stored Mick's consciousness on a hard drive, which he gave me, but it was broken, so I'd need some help fixing it. Casey pointed me in the direction of a mad scientist that might be able to help.
This place right here, it used to stand for something. Now it's just a wreck. Maybe someone will restore it to its former glory someday. That would be cool. Yes, if only there was a young and capable fellow around. Yeah, with some spare time on his hands. That would definitely help. And a burning desire to learn more about the guy who used to live here. If only there was such a guy. I meant you, kid. Remodel Mick's office? GPP won't make you happy, kid. Mick will tell you the same if you can fix him. Dude, what is going on? Or just visit the sewers. Wait, what's in the sewers? Dude, what? Mick's office renovation. It earns me old school respect.
I figured I'd better get remodeling. It's what the old boy would have wanted.
Look at that painting style, dude. I'm too hungry. That's so random.
I headed home to eat and...
Let's go check out this dream lab, I guess. Hello, are you the mad scientist? Well, I don't know about scientists, but I'm certainly mad.
I asked about repairing Mick's hard drive, and he said it was doable, but his creepy robot told me it'd be the opposite of easy peasy lemon squeezy.
I'm gonna need some spare parts for this to work. You can ask for them at the Robo Factory junkyard.
But before doing that, I felt it was only right to aggressively paint this one spot on Mick's wall some more. I managed to tidy up a small area, and I earned enough old school respect to pick up stony arms, increasing the effectiveness of barbell training. I then headed to the Robo Factory to ask about spare parts.
Ask not what we can do for you, Ask if you can punch a robot for us.
And so I was tasked with helping to train this Russian fighting robot. Except they'd sprung this one on me, so I wasn't at max health or energy. I stuck with the stamina school, hoping the extra energy regen at the start of the round would help. And it did, but not enough. I skipped 2 attacks in round 2 to conserve energy, but as you can see, it wasn't looking good. I managed to hang in there and avoid suffering any knockdowns, but with only 1 attack active, I fell behind in the damage fight, and after 5 rounds, I lost on points, though it was pretty close. Perhaps I should have chosen a more aggressive skill set in the final round, but oh well. I slept and pumped iron all day before returning to work at the Robo Factory, where I managed to reach a promotion. Grisha told me morale was low in the factory, so to secure that promotion, I needed to find a way to raise everyone's spirits. Fortunately, I knew the king of entertainment, Henry, so I resolved to go ask him about a solution. I worked the night away, restocked my empty fridge, and earned my promotion at Bobo's farm, too.
Alright, Bobo, what do you need?
Little Bobo had managed to let some younger slimes escape to the sewers, which represented a big loss of profit. I offered to go track down the slimes in exchange for that promotion.
Now I can go to the sewers, okay.
So off I went to visit the sewers, where in the first game I enjoyed many encounters with the teenage mutant ninja crocodiles. It was a bit of a labyrinth down here. I went from room to room admiring the wonderful sewer vibes.
There is no upper city?
I found just the right ear of some AirPods.
What is that? There's a giant rat there. You see that?
And I concluded it was quite creepy down here. I also found evidence of those teenage mutants I mentioned. After a few more rooms with intriguing images on the walls, and a fancy helmet in this one, I finally encountered another human.
Oh, here he is. Halt, who goes there at this hour of the week? I'm just looking for some slimes. The only slime here is you, trying to sneak into the Resistance's territory. I'm a man immune to the toxic Wi-Fi of the outside world. Prepare to fight. Oh my gosh, look at that giant eel. Okay, I guess I'm fighting this guy.
I didn't notice this when I was playing, but this dude's name was Winky Tinky, and his fighting school was the Foil Path. What a legend. I rolled with a conservative stamina build, hoping to win the energy game, and I came out pretty strong damage-wise, but had to skip 2 attacks in round 3. But even then, I still suffered a knockdown. I switched to the strength school in round 5, and honestly, I don't know why I wasn't using strength more, as uppercut was my highest damage dealing ability, and it cost less energy than low kick. Too little too late though, as I took the loss.
Haha, you're weak as a vegan. Leave here and never return.
I slept, got a massage, and slept some more before entering my next league fight against Ruth.
She's got 1 counterattack dodge. I think that's a counterattack dodge. Martello, some crazy kicks.
Before the fight, she raged at a delivery man who'd somehow lost 14 and a half of the 15 yoga mats she had ordered. And as we entered the fight, she was determined to unleash some of that rage on me. She had a yoga-tastic agility build. To put the hurt on this yoga mum, I went all in on a quad uppercut strength opener, which did indeed deal lots of damage in round 1.
Heck yes. Okay, that's a very solid round 1. We switched to Akido and we conserve energy now.
That is exactly what I did, but I wonder if I should have just skipped all 3 attacks for a round or 2 because I still suffered a knockdown. And the fight ended up quite close despite an explosive round 1.
There we go. Woof! At least I want to fight. All my quest fights, I'm losing. There we go, we beat the yoga lady.
I trained my strength up to 10, allowing me to pick up the skill spin kick to body, which prompted the paperclip to teach me about tonus. Certain skills like the one I just unlocked use tonus points each round they're active. And to refill your tonus meter, you have to train that stat. Interesting. I headed straight to the Robo Factory to give it a whirl against the Russian robot.
Let's try whip out this ridiculous spin kick to body move, which is going to cost me tonus. Make sure we got the block penetration on. Oh, I think I just did it. Did a lot of damage.
That round cost me a lot of energy, and for some reason I decided to go into round 2 with the exact same loadout. And I proceeded to suffer 2 knockdowns, so that was incredibly stupid. But the robot was also incredibly low on energy, so I swapped to the stamina fighting school and hoped for the best.
No, I'm gonna suffer a knockdown. What? Why did I use so many Oh, I'm so bad, dude. I need some luck, dude. Please, I need some luck. One more. Bro. Hey, we got some luck. We got some luck, hell yeah.
And so I earned the spare parts the mad scientist needed to repair Mick's hard drive. I'd worked my way to a promotion at 2 out of 3 of my jobs, and now it was time to show the Noodle House some attention. And in the morning, I took the spare parts to Emmett the mad scientist. But he was off on some random tangent as soon as I arrived.
Weaponized body augmentations. deliver them to the bridge, and illegally sell them to some police officers.
So I guess I was now gonna help this crazy bloke with his illegal shenanigans. I also gave him the spare parts, and he got busy repairing the hard drive. Except once he'd repaired it, we couldn't get into it because we needed a password. So I needed to find Casey again to ask him. I then asked the scientist if he had any software available.
Lolkek.
Lolkek sends you a joke once a day. He also had Workout Booster that makes old school training more effective, but neuro training less effective, a bus pass subscription to make bus trips cheaper, and software to enhance a specific stats training. I grabbed Lolkek because I wanted to see some of these jokes. I did not get the bus pass because I was still walking everywhere anyway, and I was keen to continue training all stats for now, so I didn't bother with a particular focus. I headed to Henry's to ask about how I might improve the Russian mafia's morale, and he said he had the perfect movie tape, but it had somehow been washed into the sewers.
I think I should train up my noodle shenanigans because that's probably going to send me to the sewer as well. And then I can go do the sewer dungeon. It kind of is like a dungeon, you know.
I had a quick pit stop at home.
I only have 8 strength tonus now because I used it in 2 rounds during that fight. Interesting. It stops your training of actually leveling up. It's pretty quick though.
I continued training, pushing my stamina and agility higher.
It's lolkek software. Okay, what do we got? The game has a ways for on the road to... What? How can you eat so much and never go to the bathroom? Have a nice day. Oh, for goodness sake. Turn off lolkek immediately. I'm not wasting $1 a day on that nonsense. That is true though. Why do I never go to the bathroom?
I walloped the dangling worm before paying a visit to the bridge on behalf of the mad scientist.
Are you trying to get us mixed up in bribery or an illegal transaction? Yes. Well, you should have said so. Come on, give us the goods.
And so I gave the fella some kind of body augmentation, and he wanted to test it out immediately, so suddenly I was in the fight against a futuristic policeman.
Let's just not block, because it costs 7 energy, and I don't want to spend energy.
I also had a perk that reduced the damage I took by 1 if I made no effort to defend myself, so this was actually a decent strategy.
I think it's working that I'm not spending energy on block. Maybe? Maybe not.
I skipped 1 attack in round 2 to be careful, but I did indeed have the energy advantage.
Strength with no blocks is amazing because you don't waste energy trying to block. Crowd him out, come on. Hell yeah. Okay. Strength with no block is the way to go.
I received the money for Emmett. I noodled it up until I got hungry, I filled my fridge, and League Fight Day had rolled around, so I did some prep for that.
I think I'm just gonna go pure uppercut because I don't want to use the tonus because it's slowing down my strength training. Obviously we go anti-block. Yeah, sweet. Alright, dig in.
Dig in indeed, with no defensive moves active once again. I dropped some attacks between rounds to make sure I didn't run out of energy, but it really did feel like I'd found my groove. The big strat where you allow yourself to get punched in the face a lot in order to free you up so you can also punch your opponent in the face a lot. Lovely stuff.
No worries, man. Popping off.
These funny looking weirdos showed up after the fight to tease me about my poor English.
Try even better. Is there a 5-year-old in the ring? Excuse me?
Ruth was there too, and she defended me. And when the bullies left, she apologized for her rage the other day and offered to spar with me sometime. I randomly walked into the lair of butt jigglers and out again, which prompted Ruth to reappear demanding that spar. I stuck to the same strategy, and Ruth actually held her own as she was dodging up a storm, but I was ultimately victorious. She then asked me if I wanted to join her fitness classes. I told her I was too busy, and she complained it was impossible to get people to join her class. So I suggested she tape her class and sell the tapes.
Gotta record her on tape, Ruth. Invent Zumba.
I returned to Emmett and gave him his money, and I earned a cheeky $100 for my part in the illegal transaction. And since I didn't really want to spend money at the gym neuro training, I decided I wanted to enhance my old school training to make the most of the gym equipment in my garage. So I installed Workout Booster for $25. I'd expected this to override the boosted neuro training software Silver had installed, but nope.
Now I've just got 2 apps nullifying each other. How do I get rid of this?
One app was making neuro training better and old school training worse, and the other was doing precisely the opposite, an ingenious combo. I spoke to Silver about deleting his neuro training app, but he had no idea, so I ironically went full circle and paid Emmett $15 to delete it for me. Oh well, at least I now had my brain software in order. I worked the night cooking noodles, and I trained like crazy on day 37 and into day 38. I stubbornly kept switching between the barbell and push-ups, even though I think the training was getting less efficient as I grew tired of each exercise. I eventually ran out of food, but I was sitting on $100, so a quick trip to Arpoo's solved that conundrum, and I continued my garage gym session into day 39, pushing my strength to 12 just before it was time for my league fight. With that, I was able to unlock Path of the Lazy Bear.
Hit seldom but hard. Don't use defense, just attack. Make the enemy fear your strength.
And that made it official. I had been won over by the lure of the strength build. A new skill tree opened up to me, with quite a large amount of options in it.
Well, you can get your skills up to like 30. Holy dooly.
I entered the league fight against Mad Matt, and I stuck with quad uppercut again because I wasn't too keen on using tonus, and I thought I could beat this fella without the higher damage from spin kick. Round 1 was pretty even, but round 2...
His blocking is actually nuts. Oh gosh. Dude, he's crazy.
I was actually using my anti-dodge modifier this whole fight instead of my anti-block modifier because I am a goose on the loose. So it was looking dicey going into round 4, but...
Please just finish him off. Yes!
These buffheads showed up again to taunt me.
Maybe when you were a baby, your mum dropped you from the 18th floor.
They invited me to the nightclub to celebrate my victory. I tried going immediately, but it was daytime. And this is how I learned that nightclubs are not open during the daytime. I headed to the police station instead, as I figured it was time I began learning the letter of the law.
Mowing the laws. Let's go.
The holo sergeant assigned me to a police cadet desk, and he explained there were 5 chapters for me to work through. I was not expecting Punch Club 2 to feature studying the laws of a dystopian future, but why not? At least it earned me some of them good person points. I stayed overnight and knocked over 2 chapters of study before eating what was left in my fridge, at which point I was due to earn some coin. After pounding the danglers all day, I cooked up ramen all night, earning enough for 4 cooking kits, which meant after a cheeky snooze, I was free to continue training in my home gym. And before I knew it, I was back at Silver's for another fight.
I'm fighting Plato.
This is one of the dingleberries that I was supposed to go to the nightclub with, and he was rocking some fairly respectable stats.
I think we gotta use the spin kick against this guy. I got 5 initiative now? Okay. Let's unload and see what happens. So much damage. You know what I just realized? I was not using my block penetration because I'm an absolute doofus. I'm pretty far ahead, so I'm gonna skip 2.
He was low on energy too, so he also skipped some attacks, slowing down the fight for the following 2 rounds. But the lead I'd taken in round 1 carried me through to victory at the end of the 3rd.
Popping off in Silver's league recently.
That win pushed me up to 3rd in the league. Silver informed me about extreme neuro training, the Lamborghini of neuro training, which was currently unavailable due to the machine being broken. I chatted to the bloke trying to repair the machine, and he told me not to touch his zipper. And he asked me to help him with the repair by bending a Klein bottle. And I knew of a certain place that was big on bending.
The Robo Factory is just always popping off for the solution to all my problems, but I need money.
I spent all day getting busy in my yellow boots because it's always good to refill that fridge.
Where'd the guy that was standing here go? He's gone. Oh, that's the janitor from Scrubs.
And I cooked noodles all night. Then I was back to training all day, pushing my strength to 13, and back to noodling all night, clawing my way towards that promotion. I'd gotten a little grumpy from all that working, so I sparred Silver to cheer myself up before snoozing and training until evening, when I finally earned my way towards a promotion at the Noodle House. The way to secure this promotion was to fix this idiot courier's mistake. He'd somehow lost the delivery of supplies in, you guessed it.
Yeah, it's in the sewers, as expected. Now, I feel ready to go to the sewers. Let's go to the Robo Factory junkyard first. Can you bend this thing? No, that's impossible. He can't bend it? In this country, we call this a fignushka. A thing that cannot possibly be. I wish you good luck bending that thing, comrade. Fignushka?
He told me perhaps Spoon Boy could help me, and said to look for this Spoon Boy under the bridge.
Spoon Boy, are you here? Grandpa? Smuggler, want to buy some illegal stuff?
This upstanding gentleman sells various colors of juice that provide stat boosts. The Jeepar, for his part, had nothing to say to me.
Alright, Spoon Boy, there is no spoon.
It's important to remember we are living in a simulation, so it's not about literally bending the spoon, it's about defying the arbitrary programming that limits your mind into believing the spoon even exists in the first place. In other words,
do not try to bend the thing, instead only try to realize the truth. What truth? That you owe me $50.
Lucky for me, I actually had that on hand, so I paid the bald child to bend the Klein bottle for me. I attempted to enter the sewers here, but according to Gramps, only the worthy may pass, and my worthiness depended on whether I'd given them something useful.
Useful like what? Like AirPods? Like AirPods? Like AirPods? Like AirPods?
So I gave him the AirPod I'd found, but a singular AirPod does not qualify as AirPods, and I was only half worthy. So I needed to find the other one so these weirdos could listen in stereo. I rested up and headed into the ring against T800. I added spin kick to body to the arsenal, which costs 2 initiative instead of 1, by the way, and I unleashed. When I connected, I did pretty juicy damage, but he was pretty dodgy. Each dodge cost him 7 energy though, while I wasted 0 energy on silly defensive moves. So it was nice to have a distinct energy advantage heading into round 2.
We got him in the 3rd. Easy, bro.
That brought me up to 2nd in Silver's league. I trained up a storm, reaching 14 strength.
Drop your guard and crowd the enemy they lose initiative.
Breakthrough is technically a defensive skill, not that it guards against attacks, but in reducing the opponent's initiative, it means they'll get less attacks off. I rested and then returned the bent thingo to the repairman.
Okay. Extreme neurotraining.
This thing simply trained more, purely in one stat at a time.
We got 3 quests in the sewers. Bang, bang, bang.
So into the sewers I went, and immediately got lost.
I think I accidentally went a different way. Wait, did I?
I did indeed, because I soon found another tinfoil man, but it wasn't Winky Tinky from earlier. This was my first time using Breakthrough, but I'm not sure I saw him spontaneously losing any initiative, so I don't think it did much. Either way, with my superior stats, it was a pretty clean win, and I claimed the lost crate of food.
Oh, I just realized there's a map? What the heck?
I figured these green areas were as yet unexplored, so that's where I headed, and soon I encountered another dingus.
Hey, raccoons.
I once again stuck to an uppercut-only approach to avoid using tonus, and this went pretty smoothly, though I did take a fair bit of damage.
Look at that walk. Like Leonardo's.
I came to a rather intriguing shrine, and across this little bridge...
Wait, is this Casey?
Apparently Casey lives in the sewers with a mutant crocodile named Bill. He told me Mick's hard drive password is either Punch Club, or if that doesn't work, try Punch Club 2. Beyond that, it was nice to see some lovely art on the wall over here. I headed back out and claimed the other AirPod, before finding my way to another esteemed gentleman, who was guarding the movie tape I needed for the Russians. My health and energy had been worn down by the 2 fights I'd had so far, so I wasn't 100% against Big Lulu here, and this meant I had to skip quite a few attacks to conserve energy, and things got rather close.
He's getting good blocks, man. Holy crap, he's popping off. I think I need to pop off. Finish him off, come on. Nice, okay.
It was nice how we stared lovingly at each other for a few seconds there before I knocked him out. I claimed the tape, and though I still had at least one more fight to take in these sewers, I decided to head home and rest up to restore my health and energy. I gave the Russians the movie Brother 2, which had a profound impact on morale, and I claimed my promotion, so Bending now earned $40 a pop. I headed to Arpoo's, and it appeared one of these sewer fellas had found their way to the surface. And out of nowhere, a wild Huey appeared.
Did someone just yell, "Don't move, this is a robbery"? Nope. Huey, what are you doing here? Huey's pretending to be the Dark Fist. The most darkest fist ever. Come on, Huey. Stop being a silly sausage.
When Huey dared to tell the tinfoil man that the earth is round, he became enraged, and somehow I ended up in a fight against him. I had a decent round 1 and 2 before getting low on energy, forcing me to skip attacks. And then the few punches I was throwing, he kept dodging like an absolute beast.
Thank you. Oh gosh. No! His dodging was through the roof.
So now these 2 idiots were just standing here until I was ready for a rematch, I guess. I enjoyed a massage, worked a shift, and soon I was fight ready. And I was up against T800 again. I stuck with the strategy of zero defense, guns blazing first round. And in the later rounds, I skipped some attacks to ensure I didn't suffer any knockdowns. As usual, this meant I slowly lost my early lead as the fight progressed, but I still took the win. The fact that I was a perpetually broke nerd continued to plague me. So I did the wise thing and headed to the nightclub to purchase $42 beverages. And I listened to these 2 idiots ramble for ages, and the conclusion of this nonsense was...
Okay, here's a simpler question. What's warm, useless, and no one has ever seen? Don't know what. Your brain. Thank you.
Aesop was who I'd have to beat to become the champion of Silver's League, so I looked forward to shutting him up. I returned to the lost crate, claiming my promotion, and I noodled the night away. And I had not recovered the slime from the sewers yet, so I couldn't get my Bobo promotion, but I worked the day shift anyway because I needed money. I bent some more metal too, before finally refilling my fridge, earning me the leeway to train like a machine for about 24 hours straight, with short breaks for food and naps.
Boom. Got 15. I can get a new skill. Work towards Meat Spring, which deals 20% of incoming damage back to the enemy, but increases the damage I take. But then the next one reduces the damage received if I don't block or dodge. This one counters dodges and pins them to the ropes. This one counters blocks.
I chose to head down the middle of the tree, which promised to be a no-defense meathead berserker type build, which sounded wonderful to me. I got myself fight ready, and it was time.
Alright, he's got a stamina build. Alright, so my new knee destroyer move does more damage for the same energy, so I have to use this, right? It's gonna cost so much tonus though. Unload on this nerd. Holy crap. It's costing me 4 tonus, but he's blocking everything.
That was a solid round 1 though. I stripped it back to just 2 uppercuts for round 2, but I'm not sure if my character got the memo because he whipped out quite a few punches. I got even more conservative for round 3 and I managed to bring him down to just 2 health, so things were certainly looking up.
Get in there. Yes! The champion of Silver's League. Cowabunga. Learn some of that, you clown.
And suddenly, I had reached chapter 2. Big enough.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I always knew you had it in you, champ. Thanks, Silver. Who's this?
This is the guy that dances like this. He invited me to join his big boy league and told me to come meet him atop his skyscraper to discuss.
The world has opened up to me, I think. Yeah, big enough. Chapter 2. Join a pro league. I gotta clean up all the crap I gotta do here, though.
I returned to the grind. I resolved this strange dispute at Arpoo's.
There we go. How did I lose to that guy? What the heck?
But the most Darkest Fist ever didn't appreciate my help, so I had to bash him up too. It was a similar fight, but the reduced energy and health due to the back-to-back fights made it a little trickier. And so much for the most Darkest Fist ever. I rested the day away before returning to the sewers to clean up my unfinished business.
Let's just try and take out Winky Tinky with uppercuts so I don't need to use tonus. I'm crowding him out. He's using up all his initiative. I'm crowding him out so well. So he's losing, he's gonna lose more. He's backed into a corner. Bro, I'm absolutely owning Winky Tinky.
So that was a good demonstration of the power of stealing his initiative with Breakthrough. But it was crazy how releasing the pressure in round 2 due to my low energy completely swung the fight in the opposite direction. I took the win regardless. This win led me to the Lost Slimes, and with that I was done with the sewers for now. I claimed my promotion and worked the day away at my new rate of $37 per slime slap. And I bent the night away too. And so the cycle of fridge refilling continued on its inevitable way. I finally headed to Mick's trashed place to activate the hard drive.
Hey, Mick, my fella. Boy, am I starving.
Mick whipped out some silly willies about how he was now a spooky ghost, and he expressed his outrage at the state of his gym, demanding I get to work tidying it up. So I obediently got my squat on, and flopped my paintbrush about for a while. Soon I tidied up some more, and when I continued painting, I realized I was training all 3 stats. Not bad. Once I grew hungry, I headed home for a feast before returning to below the bridge. Spoon Boy told me a story about a fat hare.
The moral is, the hare was fat.
And he offered me a service to redistribute my stats if I grew to quote-unquote fat in one of them. Interesting. I gave the other airpod to Gramps, and with that I was worthy. And it turned out this entrance here was just a shortcut to Casey's. I worked, bashed Silver's robot to restore some happiness, and then figured I'd better visit Barry's office to see about joining the Pro League. He called me a potato, but wondered if one day I might become a big juicy pumpkin. And he welcomed me into the 2nd division of the Pro League. I'd have to fight my way through it, which would get me into the 1st division, and at the top of that I'd reach 9,000 GPP and earn my way into the upper city. Organizing fights works a little differently in the Pro League. You have to pay to challenge someone with higher GPP than you, and those with lower GPP have to pay to challenge you. Being at the very bottom of the league meant I had to pay $10 to challenge my first opponent. He had respectable stats, so I got busy training, working my way up to 16 strength, allowing me to pick up Meat Spring. I enjoyed a cheeky snooze, and on the evening of day 57, it was time.
My first fight of the Pro League, Division 2. Ah. Okay, let's use Meat Spring. He's got a lot of initiative, so let's use some of the breakthrough as well. But I think I want to try and reflect some damage. Obviously need dodge penetration. He's a dodgy boy.
This was a rather impressive rooftop ring, and if I'm not mistaken, I think a floaty tentacle robot was refereeing.
Oh, he's so dodgy. Why is he not doing anything? I'm crowding him out. I get some, I gotta drop down to 1. Is he doing damage back to himself? He did. He did 2 damage back to himself there. He did 3 damage back, 5 damage back. I'm gonna win on just getting bashed up. Thorns damage, 2 damage, 5 damage, 7 damage. He's owning himself. Yes! I'm a big hunk of meat. Why is there a robot, by the way? What the hell is going on?
A fiery start to my pro career, no doubt about it. And it seemed my new damage reflect skill was quite handy. I was really hoping to earn some money fighting though, and my hopes were about to be realized.
I'm gonna receive $186. Yes, please.
The dude I'd just beaten was now lower than me in the league, and he'd paid to challenge me. Great news. I filled the fridge yet again with money earned bending, and with $186 incoming if I won my next fight, I felt less pressure to work, so I painted instead. I cleaned up a bit more, and after painting all night, I cleaned up even more, and Mick whipped out an inspirational idea from beyond the grave.
Silver gym's all fancy and expensive, right? What if we start a cheaper one with old school equipment? It would be perfect for kids and poorer families. Good idea.
So that was a wholesome goal to work towards. But my next fight was just around the corner, so I got a snooze and some training in, raising my agility to 12, and soon I was back in the ring. He did not dodge as effectively this time, so he got slapped silly in round 1, and Meat Spring was truly a powerful move, as he damaged himself down to suffer a round 2 loss.
I actually got $186 from that. Oof.
After a quick painting spree, it was time to sign in for my next fight.
I have to pay 43 to challenge him. I'm gonna get 220 from fighting this guy again. I'm just gonna fight this guy again. I'm just gonna farm him for money while I paint.
I painted day 61 away, and finally...
Hey! Beautiful, man. What do you reckon, Mick?
Mick gave me the password to his old office and explained he thought he was stuck in the afterlife where everyone hates each other, there's way too much nudity, and nobody remembers anything for more than a minute. I explained that is not the afterlife, that's the internet, and promised to go get him a hollow body. I pushed my strength to 17, slept, ate, and pushed my stamina to 14, and on day 63...
Might just, get this police station nonsense done.
I learned some wonderful stuff.
Any conflict between two citizens can always be resolved in a fight, and the winner is always right.
That night, I farmed the lowly Goro Majima for money, and I got him down to 20 health in the first round. Not bad. And in round 3, I did precisely 0 attacks, and he died purely from counterattack damage since my skin is so spiky. I worked back some tonus before challenging Gold for my next fight, costing only $10 since he was barely higher than me in the rankings. After spending the purse I'd just earned, I continued studying them laws. This time I learned that policemen resolve conflicts by stating a verdict and then protecting it with his fists. If he's not strong enough, a detective steps in. Seems like a flawless system to me. I headed to Emmett's to ask about making a hollow body for Mick, but he was already making one because he'd time traveled and already knew that Mick needed a body. Apparently he mainly uses his ability to time travel to eat out-of-date yogurt. Yeah, I don't know what the hell was going on, but in exchange for the body, he asked me to deliver some GPP chips to the nightclub manager and check out these dance moves. I delivered those chips immediately, returned to Emmett, and...
Here he goes. Hey, the legend is back. We got everything we need to open a gym except for one tiny thing. A trainer, kid.
And so I agreed to train some teenage kids. Mick told me he'd let me know when the first training session was scheduled. I also received free use of this office, a new place to keep my fridge and to sleep, free from the tyranny of my mother.
Okay. Wait. The treadmill's... Wait, what? I didn't repair the treadmill or the punching ball, but now they're magically working. There you go. I'll take it.
Yes, indeed. All the training equipment from my garage had been moved here. After some training, I headed to work for the night, since I wasn't going to earn anything from my next fight and I needed some money.
Plus, I do need to get the final promotions. We need to figure out what that's all about.
I spent the day squeezing green goo too, and that evening it was fight time. Except I didn't have full energy, and without enough time to rest, I was forced to enter the ring while not fully fit.
Oh, this is Silver. Oh, that's not good. I have low energy to start. All right, let's skip one attack.
So Silver had disguised himself as Gold, and he was rocking his own old school boxing fighting style.
Oh, increases the damage you deal when the opponent doesn't block or dodge. Maybe I should not be using this build against him.
It was ultimately just a slightly different strength build though, and my stats were superior, so in I went with the tried and true zero defense strategy. Round 1 was fine, but when I skipped 2 attacks in round 2, he began unleashing the hurt. Fortunately, he also hurt himself a fair bit, and I got some attacks in too.
As long as I can land some attacks, I think I'm okay. Oh dude, he's smoking me. Am I gonna get a knockdown though? Yes. GPP.
Silver told me he missed me. His league just wasn't the same without me, and he asked me to pay him a visit sometime. Ronald Dump invited me to his office to celebrate with some donuts, which he sent me to pick up from Apu's, because the delivery service in the city was rather unreliable. But when I tried to pick them up, the infamous crappy courier came in raging that I was stealing his work. I demanded to speak to his manager, but...
Alright, so now I'm fighting the courier for courier glory. He's got lots of stamina, man.
I was, of course, starting the fight on lowish energy, and he was blocking up an absolute storm. But on the other hand, I had way more health than him thanks to my strength advantage. I stuck with 2 attacks active the whole fight to ensure I didn't get knocked down, but it meant by the 3rd round I'd been slapped way more times than I'd slapped him.
I gotta try and finish him. I'm gonna go all out and try and finish him. This is my only chance. Why did I only have 2? Come on. No, where's my... Why didn't I get it? Oh, he's on 1 health. Why didn't I get another attack there? What the heck, man?
Listen to the unbridled passion of a true Punch Club enthusiast.
If I let him challenge me, I'm gonna get 394? Because he's so much lower than me? Okay.
I like money, so I let the noob challenge me again. After a feed and a sleep, I awoke to Mick telling me it was go time. There were some young rapscallions here for training.
Training begins. What is this?
Basically, I can train the boys by having them work out or by teaching them a specific move from my skill set. And I also needed to maintain good rapport with the lads by having inspirational conversations with them. As we trained up a storm, this red bar at the bottom filled up. And like every good trainer, I said,
I'm hungry, so let me eat.
This meant I wasted the last 3 hours of our time, but I earned $113 regardless. Who knew less fortunate teenagers had so much money to splurge?
I got $113 for that. Okay, I got money pouring in now. And then the training progress will slowly fill up and achieve something. So in 2.5 days, I can train again. Let's get this. Improve the effectiveness of treadmill, just so I can train my stamina a little faster.
I trained much of day 68, reaching 18 strength, which allowed me to pick up the skill Armored Forehead.
Reduces damage received if you do not block or dodge.
Of course, I never blocked or dodged, so this was a no-brainer. I hit 15 stamina too, and on day 69 I got myself fight ready and back into combat with this courier idiot.
We'll put in the armored forehead.
This meant I was no longer using break rhythm to deal extra damage to his energy, but I was never going to win the energy battle against this stamina beast anyway, so all good. The fight went similarly to last time, but I'd started with more energy, so I was able to be more aggressive. And my new armored noggin meant I took a little less damage, and so I claimed the victory.
KO'd himself. There we go. Take that, courier idiot.
The courier told me where to find his manager, and he handed over the coveted donuts. I headed straight to this tower to have a chat with this delivery manager.
Just a guy in a Hawaiian shirt. What a legend.
I hopped into the elevator and rode it to the delivery service office. It turns out the manager is actually the father of the hopeless courier.
Yeah, you need to fire your son, bro. Gotta give your son a chance to spread his wings beyond his terrible courier skills.
The silly fella also mentioned an old videotape that was meant to be delivered 3 years ago. He offered to sell it to me for $100. I finally gave the donuts to Bernhold Frump, but he did not care. He just sat down in his massage chair.
Oh yeah. Oh, get those vibrations.
I paid Silver that visit he'd asked for, during which I bashed his robot. And then he rambled about how my dad was a big fan of some medallion, and how he'd had a cat named Fuzzy. Seems accurate. That evening, I bashed this dingus again, comfortably earning a juicy $394. I challenged Boris the Blade for my next fight, and I paid the delivery dude a visit. He had fired his son after my wonderful advice the other day. This meant he lacked employees, so he asked me to deliver 3 packages for him. I also bought the videotape for $100. I headed straight to Henry's and enjoyed a screening of the smash hit film Universal Courier.
Alright, we're gonna increase our work efficiency, and we're gonna increase the rate at which tonus fills up for sure.
I also got the perk to make slime sandwiches restore more, increasing how much they fill you up from 20 to 23. And I unlocked Barbell Pocket to add another food item slot, because I figured I might as well get in the habit of carrying slime sandwiches around now that I was making lots of money. I delivered Apu his package. They were shoes that he'd ordered 20 years ago back when he had a body.
Come on, boys, let's go. Train it up.
Having some snacks handy ended up being useful, as I was able to eat them without wasting any time, and therefore got a fair bit more training done than last time.
I got $260 for that.
This put me in reach of the $400 tape from Apu. So Henry and I enjoyed a screening of Pants of God, starring Channy Jack.
We take Brawl Master so we use less energy after a fight. Take Always Ready so I can carry more sandwiches with me.
The other 2 options didn't seem too useful just yet, so I saved the old school respect, before delivering 5-year-old donuts to the police station, and studying the glorious law all day. But I ran out of energy just before finishing this chapter. When I got home, Mick had a gift for me.
A few old videotapes in rubbish. One of them's your stag party.
None of the tapes had labels though, so he said he'd give me 1 tape at a time, and eventually I'd watch the one with the glorious footage from his wild stag do, which would hopefully have info about my grandfather on it, since Mick was good mates with him back in the day. And so after a snooze, it was back to Henry's for yet another movie. This first tape of Mick's was the classic film Herbivorous, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Increased movement speed around the city, less health consumed after a fight. Cooking kit restores more health.
The films were certainly coming in thick and fast. It was great stuff. I then finally finished my study of the law.
Hey, I know all the laws of the city. The one with the most GPP is right, sums up all the laws.
He told me to return tomorrow and I could officially begin as a police officer. I trained for a bit before heading in for a Div 2 fight against Boris the Blade.
Boris the Blade dodges 100% of the time. His dodges are always successful. Undefended damage reduced by 2. We're going all in with 4 tonus in the first round. Try and deal heaps of damage. His dodges though. Okay. If he doesn't attempt to dodge, Then I can do oh my gosh, I did so much damage, but I nearly ran out of energy.
I skipped all of my attacks in round 2, and he skipped half of his, so I luckily didn't take too much damage. In round 3 and 4, I had 2 attacks active, and I got him down to 2 health.
Okay. Just as well he didn't dodge, because I could have lost that.
And so I managed to climb another 189 GPP. I'd used a lot of strength tonus though, so I got busy training it back up.
I'm gonna do one more fight against this doofus to get a ridiculous amount of money, and then I should be able to climb a few in a row, I think.
Day 73 was another training day with the lads, which earned me $214, after which I snoozed. I filled up my fridge and pockets with food, put a little bending shift in, and I delivered Silver a questionable package. With that, I'd couriered 3 out of 3 items, so I returned to the office to claim my reward, a delivery man license.
I can ride the bus anywhere around the city for free. What? Well, that's going to save me a lot of time.
And so, after not having ridden the bus a single time, my future was now full of infinite free bus travel, which meant trips around the city would now be instant. I bashed Silver to restore some happiness, and I got to training, alternating between the equipment, doing my best to prioritize strength and stamina gain. I fought Goro Majima yet again, and honestly, this is getting a little outrageous rinsing this bloke for money, but what can I say? Money talks. I spent that money and got back to training. I also spent $73 to challenge Rorschach to a fight. I shared my wisdom and training tips with the lads again, earning yet more money. And on day 77, I finally pushed my stamina up to 16, my agility up to 14, and my strength up to 19. Big stats. But I didn't stop there. I had so much money and so much food that I could just keep training, and snoozing once the old bones got tired. And then it was time to take on Rorschach. He was a big stamina boy, but it didn't really make a difference. I had just the one strategy at this point. So I forged ahead with spin kicks and knee crushes using up strength tonus, and zero defense, trying to crowd him out to steal initiative and dealing some counter damage. It was a relatively even round 1, except that I fell quite far behind energy-wise. I skipped 3 attacks in round 2, which may have been an overreaction, because I probably could have gotten away with only skipping 2.
Oh man, I think I might lose here. He does so much damage. I need to do crazy damage. Oh yes. Oh, that was so close.
That shot me past 3,000 GPP and into 8th place in the Division 2. I spied my next opponent.
Oh, who's the trendy man? The trendy man's got a good agility build. Wind Gust pushes enemy back with a 60% chance.
And I'd come dangerously close to losing against Rorschach's stamina build, so this inspired me to have another look at my other strength tree options.
Flycatcher. This is a new fighting style.
It was essentially an anti-agility fighting style, designed to counter key agility perks, reducing initiative and dodge chance.
I want this too. Dodged attacks cost 40% less energy.
So now I had an alternative fighting style to use against my upcoming agility opponent, Trendy Man. And I still had over 1,000 GPP saved up to spend on unlocking other skills. I got busy training, but with my stats quite high now, training felt painfully slow. So I paid a visit to the Robo Factory.
I can get new stuff.
I worked, had a break during which I ate 4 slime sandwiches, and
buy the horizontal bar for extra strength gain.
I continued working through till dawn. I spent the day training the boys, and at the end of the day, Mick appeared with some wisdom.
You're not just a coach, you're a protector and a shepherd. That's beautiful.
He told me about someone in the ghetto who managed to cross all of the criminal gangs in the city at once, which I thought was a rather impressive effort. Mick told me to head over there after sunset and give the bloke a hand.
I've got to go to the ghetto at night to help some doofus? Sounds like a terrible plan.
Instead of doing that, I headed to the police station because I finally remembered I could start my job there now. The Holo Sarge took me to the back office.
Now we're talking.
I was initiated on what the job would be. Some paperwork, some time walking the beat, socializing with colleagues, and there was a gym upstairs too. He said I'd have a shift every few days, and that he'd let me know when my first proper shift would be.
Now we're gonna have my police job as well?
What a busy guy. I stocked up on food yet again, I slept, and I slapped Silver to make myself happy before putting in a shift at the slime farm. Because even though the money wasn't great, I was still keen to earn those promotions. I had a snooze in Mum's garage for old time's sake, and
let's go to the ghetto.
A representative from Bobo's gang, the Russian Mafia, and the Yakuza were all debating how best to murder the bloke in the orange singlet. So it was my time to shine. And all 3 of these idiots had garbage stats, so this was rather easy, even though I had to fight them back to back. I brought the ghetto fella back to the gym, and so a 5th student was added to the training sessions. I worked out all day, and in the evening, it was time to test out the Flycatcher fighting style against Trendy Man.
So he's got reduced dodge, and I can push him back a lot to reduce his high initiative. Great for diverting the enemy's defenses. I don't know what that means. Let's just try 4 jabs and see what happens.
The beauty of the jabs is that they came out quickly, which meant he was soon pinned against the ropes after a few dodges, at which point he had no more room to dodge, and so his face got absolutely battered. It was also quite energy efficient, costing only 12. On top of that, his 7 initiative didn't get him as many attacks as you might expect thanks to my perks and skills, and so he was comfortably countered by the power of the flycatcher build.
When he dodged, I was using like 40% less energy, made that so easy.
After that win, this idiot had some more dance moves for me, and he informed me the league's core values were at stake because someone was cheating. He asked me to chat to Bobo Jr. about catching these cheats. My mum was having trouble sleeping again, so I asked Apu for help and he gave me some earplugs to give her. And I got to work at the Robo Factory.
Boom, another promotion.
I'm pretty sure I got this idiot fired, so I'm not sure who he thinks he is. But obviously his courier skills cannot be trusted, so Grisha asked me to deliver some implants to a police officer on the bridge. I gave my mum the earplugs, I spent the rest of the night noodling, and I asked Bobo Jr. about an anti-cheating device. He said he didn't want to talk about criminal stuff in front of his righteous father, and told me to meet him at night in the abandoned house. I was still doing okay for money, so I challenged the 6th ranked cyber dude, and it was training day. Now that I had student number 5, the red bar filled faster, and I managed to earn $303. I noodled, I found Joy bashing silver, and in the morning I received a call from the Holo Sarge, because it was my first day on duty at my 6th job. This functioned exactly the same as the training progress, except the bar was blue. I checked out the police gym upstairs, where I enjoyed having a big ball dropped on my belly, and soon I'd completed my first day as an officer. And out of nowhere, I was given an apartment.
I got a beautiful apartment. Domestic robot.
I returned to the police gym to admire the other exercises.
Handcuffing simulator. Let's buy the punching bag.
I had a feeling buying more training equipment prompted the quests to get more lads to train, so I wanted to fully kit out Mick's gym ASAP. I trained all day, and after a nap it was time to take on Cyber Dude.
It's a big strength boy. I think I just go back to somber fighting style.
We both had the big idiot who does not defend himself strategy, so we dished out a ridiculous amount of damage in round 1. But with superior stats, I took the lead.
Go on, just finish him off. Yeah, you can't not defense me. I'm the king of no defense. Up to 6 in the league there. We've got very Braveheart next.
With my 47 jobs, I had enough money to challenge him immediately. And he had a stamina build, so I picked up some new skills in preparation.
Reduces their blocks. Makes the blocks more expensive, restores more energy, lower strength opponents take more damage. Yeah, this is good.
Basically, this smasher fighting style is great at enduring against blocktastic stamina builds. I trained all night, and just as the lads arrived for training, I hit 20 strength. This gave me access to 3 relatively energy efficient new skills, but for some reason I didn't pick any of them up just yet. After buying and eating a bunch of slime sandwiches, we trained the day away. I used the earnings to restock my food, and Mick gave me another tape to check out. He also told me the story of how he and my grandfather once stole Bobo's RV. Good times. I had a police shift in the morning, so I made sure I was well rested. And what can I say, this game sure does make you grind out them work shifts. By the end of this one, I was so unhappy I hit the red bit on my happiness meter.
Oh, that's what the rage is to do with your happiness.
I watched Mick's tape with Henry. It was herbivorous too.
Okay, we definitely want socialization at Mick's gym to go faster. I think entertainment hater is good if I get more happiness from winning fights. Because I don't really use entertainment. Increases effectiveness of training on the horizontal bar. Yes, give me that as well.
I also picked up Soda Lover to make drinking soda restore more happiness, because I was beginning to transition to spending money to keep me fit, healthy, and happy, rather than time.
Let's get to this bridge nonsense. I already got you fired, man. What's going on?
He wasn't happy that I was stealing his job, even though I already stole his job. But to be honest, fair enough. And this buffhead policeman wouldn't let me deliver the implants anyway, so I ended up in a fight. He had rubbish stats though, so it was a quick one. He let me deliver the implants, which enraged the courier, but with that I finally secured my Robo Factory promotion.
Hey, does that mean I'm done? Oh, I can get a $100 bonus every time I worked there.
I trained for ages and my agility hit 15, and I got myself fight ready.
We use Blind Spot to reduce his block chance by 10%. We'll use Anger Train, so if he does block me, it's going to cost me less energy.
And of course, I had all the Smasher perks that I mentioned before. As such, I was able to deal respectable damage despite his blocking, and I held up pretty well energy-wise after round 1. This meant I didn't have to slow down my offense in round 2 at all, which was quite unusual, and so I took the round 2 KO.
I ended up with better energy than him. Man, I'm just owning.
Yes, indeed. This was a far cry from when I was slumming it playing hardcore back in the first Punch Club. I headed to the abandoned house and asked Bobo Jr. to help catch the cheats in the Pro League, and he had exactly what we needed, but he had a job for me first. He wanted me to spy on his dad, because the old boy was up to something mysterious at night.
Oh, there he is. We're going to... Imagine just wandering the town with those nipples out. Wait, what? He's going to Henry's. Movie night. Movie night with the boys. What do we want? To fight each other? What the heck?
And so I burst in to rescue Henry, but it turns out they were just watching anime. I told Bobo Jr. he had nothing to worry about. It was just anime night with the boys, but he was devastated.
There's nothing wrong with two adults watching anime, is there? Try to explain that to the people Bobo works with.
So basically, this was a big meme teasing people for watching anime. Anyway, he then gave me the anti-cheating device I was after.
Alright, so this will help me detect a cheater. Something's about to go wrong, I think.
This was love at first sight, I guess. But I missed my chance to ask her name, so I followed her, which is not creepy at all. And I saw this.
What the heck is going on, dude? She got arrested? She got arrested by astronauts?
I took the anti-cheat device to Uncle Barry, and I also told him about what had happened to the girl. When I told him it wasn't the cops, it was some weirdos in helmets that arrested her, he became scared.
Do you know who those guys were? Some kind of motorcyclist? It's the feds. Oof. If they caught this girl with her hand in the cookie jar, it's better for you to stay out of it. But it's love. It's love.
When I got home, I randomly found I was on the same frequency of some woman who was asking after Juliet, that girl I'd bumped into. Clearly this was someone who might know why the feds arrested her, but I didn't get much info before she hung up.
If I fight this guy now, he won't accept my challenge. Okay, if I fight the trendy man, I get 656. Okay, so I can't keep bashing up Goro Majima now.
I did not have the money to challenge up, so I accepted the trendy man's challenge to fill my wallet some more. I headed to Arpoo's, where I ran into Juliet, except now she was a holo, and she remembered seeing me but did not remember getting arrested.
Did they reset her or something?
I spent the day training these gentlemen. I of course kept stocked up on food, and I spent day 88 on duty for the police. Across these 2 days, I earned $520 total. On day 89, I finally managed to hit 21 strength. And in the evening, I almost cleaned up Trendy Man in just one round. And with a convincing win, I pocketed a juicy $656. Boggled Slump asked me for a good detective movie to watch. So I hit up Henry's, where he and Bobo had moved on from anime and were now watching fitness videos made by Ruth, who had apparently gone on to follow through on the Zumba idea I'd given her. I gave Henry's movie recommendation to Uncle Barry. I bought a Wing Chun, fully kitting out Mick's gym. I challenged the 4th place Prees for my next fight. And I trained all night before training all day. And I managed to train the lads so effectively this particular day that I secured myself a cheeky $100 bonus. Very nice.
Another ghetto guy is in trouble. I'm more than happy to get another ghetto guy into my gym.
Apparently, he was in the process of robbing Apu right now, and Mick wanted me to talk some sense into him. I did exactly that.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, young man.
I hit him with that undeniable wisdom, and just as I was about to win him over to the light side of the force, these 3 idiots arrived.
Oh, I've got such low energy. These guys suck though.
They did indeed suck, and I was able to bash them up one after the other, which of course inspired my idiot friend here, and...
Alright, we got another nerd for the gym. Good news.
More training, more police stuff, more training, beauty sleep, more training, and on the evening of day 92, a fight against a dodgy lady.
She has 9 initiative, so we'll use breakthrough to try and steal a bunch of her initiative. And when she does dodge, she's going to deal damage back to me, so that is not good.
She also had a perk that increased her damage against undefended opponents, so I was a little worried, but it was no worries. My flycatcher fighting style shut down many of her build's strengths. She barely got off any attacks, and I was able to knock her out in round 1. Barry had watched the film Henry loaned him, and he hated it. I left to return the tape to Henry.
Oh, Henry's watching The Lion King with Ruth?
Ruth seems like a bit of a downgrade from Bobo, but fair enough. I'm very happy for you, Henry. I still had almost $800, so I challenged Kumar for my next upcoming fight before spending the night at the Noodle House and all day training the fellas. By this point, I'd taken to buying coffee from Apu, so I didn't have to use as much time sleeping to restore energy. And I, of course, continued to slam down sodas for happiness. I continued working towards the noodle promotion, and I spent another day on duty. And at the end of this particular police day, the Holosarge saw fit to give me my first case. Someone had gotten stuck inside the neuro trainer at Silver's gym. I headed straight there and found Silver in a glorious battle against a Russian fella. I told them to fight it out and whoever won would have their way. You know, rule of the fist and all that. But Silver didn't want to fight and asked me to fight in his stead.
I'll help you, Silver.
I figured I owed it to the old boy, for old time's sake. The old Russian had a very dodgy build, but once I had him pinned against the ropes, I was able to dish out big damage. But that first round brought me down to rather low low energy. So over the next few rounds, I skipped most of my attacks and pretty much served as a punching bag for the fella until I finally finished him off in the 4th. And with that, I had conclusively solved my first case using my fists. It's just wonderful to see the law in action. My reward was a buff that makes my paperwork go faster when on duty. I kept having these refueling sessions where I'd chill at Apu's and fill my snack inventory, eat snacks, fill it some more, eat some more snacks, and then fill it again. It was very efficient stuff. I cooked some noodles, teased out some slime, and soon I was in the ring against Kumar. He was a smasher, so many of his skills and perks were about countering blocks, but I am famous for never blocking, so I didn't expect too much trouble. He was also using Meat Spring though, so he reflected a lot of my damage back to me, and he also claimed the energy advantage, but I was able to take him out in round 2 regardless.
50 wins.
After that win, Barry decided we should celebrate with another batch of donuts, so it was off to Apu's again, and surprise surprise, some shiny dinguses lay in wait. While I slapped Winky Tinky around, his 2 friends stole all the Happy Cheeks seashells, and I wondered why Apu was even selling seashells in the first place.
Seashells replaced toilet paper. Excuse me?
Well, in that case, I'd better go reclaim the stolen goods. I can't have the people of the future walking around with poopy bums. Speaking of poopy bums, as I waded through the sewers chasing the tin foil goobers, the mysterious lady kept calling me, trying to find out more information. I told her I'd seen a hollow version of Juliet, and she said they must have brainwashed her, and that the resistance was most certainly compromised. I asked if her resistance was the same as the resistance that the tin foil idiots are a part of, and she said that was nonsense. And then I caught up to these two, talking about taking the shells to their boss, Tyler. I bashed one of them up and found myself chatting to Tyler Durden, who told me they stole the seashells to prevent people from pooping. Tyler had a scented cigarette for some reason, and he said the reason the sewer dwellers did what they did was purely for fun. He also told me they were called the fake resistance, or the resistance for short, confirming this was indeed not the same resistance as the one that the lady on the phone belongs to. Anyway, Tyler said I could have the seashells back, except they were scattered all over the city, so I'd have to go find them. I challenged Harold for my upcoming fight, I noodled, and I began finding the seashells. As I did so, the mysterious woman kept calling to fish for more information. By the time I'd found the 4th box at the abandoned house, she opened up a little, telling me she'd joined the resistance to make the world a better place. And when I found the 5th, she told me her name was Carla. I trained the crew all day, and then Mick had another troubled soul for me to save. And apparently this one was of universal importance. Turns out Mick was exaggerating a little. It was just some bloke at a crisis point, and I basically said to him alcohol was not the answer, which is great advice. But this made very Braveheart, who was peer pressuring him to drink, quite angry. So he fought me and suffered my slappy slaps. And just like that, another bloke to join the gym sessions. I found seashell box number 6 on the bridge, and Carla told me perhaps I would be able to help the mysterious resistance when the time was right. I returned the boxes to Apu, but apparently there were another 6 around the city. But Apu at least agreed if I found those, he'd pay me for their return. I immediately found 3 of them before returning to my noodle duties. I then decided to pick up absolutely every skill on the menu. The bottom row was more anti-block stuff, and the top row anti-dodge. I found a box of seashells at Henry's, and I found these 2 idiots arguing about whether foil or cardboard is the superior anti-5G material. When I said foil is overrated, I ended up in yet another battle against Winky Tinky. And I guess with the arrival of this cardboard box fella, the fake resistance now had some resistance. Also, apparently the devs didn't make a walking animation for the cardboard man, so I had to leave because they weren't able to animate him exiting the shop. I appreciate the transparency from the devs. I did police paperwork all day and earned a whopping $514. I continued living off snacks, and I trained my way to 22 strength.
Damage you do nothing to avoid reduced by 1. Rage. Attacks deal 20% more but consume 20% more energy. Okay. Damage you don't try to avoid restores 3 energy. Damage increased by 25% when you're below 25% health. Okay. This build's a bit crazy.
I continued training, pushing my agility up to 16, and then it was time to fight Harold.
Spin kick to body is kind of outdated now because it's got inefficient energy costs. Knee destroy is okay. Jab's not great, but at least it's fast. Front kick is about the same as knee destroyer. Gut punch is interesting. Some front kicks and some hooks, and we'll see what happens. I have 5 anti-block modifiers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think these 2 are the best. I save some energy when he blocks, and this reduces the effectiveness of his blocks based on my strength. Let's just try it. I don't know. Yeah, so he's blocking and I'm still doing 12 damage. Holy crap. My energy consumption isn't too bad. Yeah, just kill him. I'm too strong, man. It's just a foregone conclusion at this point.
Yes, indeed. I was absolutely dominating.
Chappie is a berserker, and I'm gonna use my berserker strategy. Berserker v berserker. No defense, slapping each other silly. Can't wait. Let's have a chat, boys. Let's talk about the birds and the bees, my friends. Alright, great. Good chat. Now let's train.
This day of training earned me $443. And working at the noodle bar all night earned me a solid $70. That morning, Casey gave me a call and invited me to pay him a visit in the sewers. On the way, I ran into this cardboard dingus doing a Gandalf impression, so I slapped him silly. And I learned Huey, aka the darkest fisticle, or whatever his name is, had converted the cardboard warrior to his cause, resisting the resistance. Except he was actually resisting the fake resistance, which is honestly classic Huey behavior. I ate one of Casey's weird spicy pizzas, which made the screen go funny, and I ended up in an unhinged conversation with Bill the Crocodile, who claimed he was a Hogwarts student and a veteran from the war in Afghanistan. I had no idea what was going on, and I still have no idea. Casey then finally gave me some useful backstory about my dad.
It all started with a powerful medallion. To prevent the medallion from falling into the wrong hands, your grandfather and his friends created the Punch Club. But one day, your grandfather decided he'd use the medallion to protect his kids, your father and your uncle. He divided the medallion and gave each son half of it. This didn't lead to anything good. A mysterious man in black with a red eye appeared out of nowhere and killed your grandfather. Your father then dedicated his life to finding the man in black with the red eye and getting his revenge. He became the coolest fighter in the world and received an invitation to a private elite tournament hosted by the murderer of his father. What happened next?
Casey did not know, but if you've seen my playthrough of Punch Club 1, then you'll know the ridiculous twist that happened next. But for now, there was nothing to do except continue my climb towards 9,000 GPP in the quest to find my father. I did paperwork all day, and on day 101, I trained my way to 19 stamina. And it was time to take on the #1 ranked Chappie to find out if I could become the Division 2 champion.
He's got a lot of anti-dodge and anti-block.
Which would of course be useless against me, whereas I had the freedom to pick up some handy attack modifiers. I also had superior stats overall.
I'm gonna just go 4 hooks and just try to punch him in the head.
Who's the biggest meathead?
Dude, I'm doing so much damage. Holy. Look at this damage. He just got smoked. No. What the heck, man? What?
Like a champ.
Chappie had been using a skill that caused him to deal 40% damage back to me, but it meant he took 40% extra damage as well. This is probably decent against low health agility builds, but in this case, I think it's clear to see that it did not work out well for him. And with that dominant performance, I had conquered Division 2 of the Pro League, and I was finally among the legends of Division 1.
Undercover robot, Mr. Blue, maybe, Desperado, half-naked Brad, and Jax. Jax has got some stats, man. 31 strength, holy crap.
So concluded 100.5 days of Punch Club 2. No doubt a great many more silly willies await, as I fight my way through Div 1 and unravel the mystery of my father's disappearance in this dystopian future. So, keep an eye out for 200 days, coming soon.